Tips with the meter running.
Stay protected in your jungle. McLean's Complete Care Toothpaste. Sponsor Survivor.
Previously on Survivor.
We're all trying to suss each other out, we're all trying to make the right moves and say the right things.
It's just the whole place is a disaster area.
We can't win.
We've got 6 people who are going all out just to beat him and get rid of him.
Jelly on plate! Jelly on plate!
They're still there.
It was painful, it was tiresome.
I hate quitting. By hook or crook, one of these people may end up winning £1 million.
I wish Sam could have more time.
He's a very determined individual, very strong individual. I think they are going to go after you tonight.
If I was a betting man, I'd be betting against me being the next one off.
Life on the island hasn't been too long to forget your past crimes and misdemeanors. We have to get rid of him.
The tribe has spoken, Simon. You have to leave.
Simon is the 7th survivor to leave the island. And tonight, with exclusive footage, he tells his own amazing story.
Hello and welcome to Survivor Unseen, Simon's story, with some exclusive new footage from the island. None of our contestants want to be on this show, as it means that they have been voted off the island of Pulau Tiga in Southeast Asia, saying goodbye to the chance of winning £1 million in cash. Last night we saw a change in the game of Survivor. The remaining 4 members of the Halang tribe merged with the 6 members of the Ula to form the Sekutu tribe. Every 3 days, they still have to return to tribal council, and the 7th person voted off the island was Simon. Now it's time for him to tell his story. Please welcome Simon! Well, why Survivor then? For the money, honey?
Yeah, everybody wants £1 million. No, not at all, really. Money was... absolutely. There were 2 words, really, competition and challenge. I am generally quite an ultra-competitive type person anyway. And, you know, I've got a sporting background. I like competing against other people. I've always been sort of a suit and tie type of guy, and to get myself out of that environment and into the trunks and bikini land, I thought that'd suit me fine. Yeah. 7 weeks off work as well was also a bonus.
Day 1, of course, you had to have a bit of a plan. This is how you were going to survive.
Well, if you like, I'm going to vote the people off that don't like me. If I find out they don't like me, I'll vote them off. But at the same time, if somebody's more popular than me, I'm going to try and vote these people off as well. But I would imagine we've all got a similar type of strategies. But I want people to like me, so I'm going to play that game as well. But I don't want to trust anybody completely.
And is that the real Simon, or are you going against the green?
Very difficult role for me to play because at work, obviously, I am a sales manager, and I've got some quite competitive guys in my team. Right. And I'm quite vocal normally. You know, generally I get criticised for being sometimes too outspoken and perhaps not thinking before I open my mouth and drop myself in it. But so it was a very difficult a different type of role for me to play, to keep quiet, to keep silent, and not to get involved in all the alliances and everything else that was going on around me.
Well, you seem to do not too bad. During your days in the Halang tribe, you appear to have your feet in both the older and the younger camps.
Simon is the one that I would have to work most at.
I don't know which way he's going to go.
I don't trust Simon at all.
I'm in the strongest position, perhaps.
He's on both teams, really. But really he's on their side.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
He is the one that I feel is closest to Charlotte and Adrian.
I think he is a man of his word, so hopefully we'll be all right.
Simon was supposed to be with us. I didn't realise he was going to turn around and go with them halfway through.
He did promise that he wasn't voting against me, and he got there and he voted against me as well.
I just couldn't believe it.
James approached me yesterday and said...
You know, we were talking the other day about how we were both in the centre. I said, I want to vote with you.
We see ourselves still as firmly in the middle.
Simon's ruined everything.
He could rebound against me by not being committal.
It's all down to Simon.
Ladies and gentlemen, Uzma.
I will shoot Ursula when I see her.
It's the strategy they had of you keeping both feet in both camps. That surely must have annoyed, you know, the older and younger factions at some point. How are you coping with that? When did you realise that you're going to have to go with one camp and not the other?
Well, I was obviously playing the game. I felt that because the allegiances were formed very early on, I wasn't comfortable with that because it was then having a sort of a negative effect on the team spirit. So I didn't want to jump to onto one side or the other. I wanted to play this, let's just all work to actually winning the next challenge.
Right. Well, last week we had Adrian on.
Yeah.
And he was telling us all about your jump from the younger to the older camp. He wasn't a happy bunny. He's got it for you.
He's going to be gunning for me big time, isn't he? And I don't blame him. I persuaded him to stay in the first place. But I felt it was the time to go. And I made that decision.
So you got the message from?
Yeah, I've got a message for Aid, because I think whilst we were there, we kept on about coming down to Birmingham. And he will be out with us, lads, don't worry about that. All the ladies.
What's this?
So I got this T-shirt done for him, and we were on about going and partying, because we do like partying. So, Lazy Aid, it was only a game. Now let's party.
So if you could, I mean, it's probably fair to say that you were probably his best mate on the male side, but on the female side, it was obviously Charlotte.
Yeah.
Was he talking to you about that, and what was your take on that? Was it a good idea?
It was for him, yeah. Oh, yeah, I was gutted at that. Two good-looking guys. They're in a sort of a semi-paradise type of situation there, and you know, you've got the sun and the sea, and JJ screaming in the background. So I thought, you know, they just enjoyed themselves as two young guys having fun. Perhaps went a little bit further than Charlotte perhaps envisages it, but things happen.
When Adrian, well, when you got Adrian voted off, did that bring you and Charlotte closer together?
What are you trying to suggest, John?
Nothing at all. From watching the programme, you did seem to spend a bit more time together.
That was half the plan.
Ah, right.
Not at all, really. I mean, Charlotte is one of these people, I think she needs to confide in somebody, and I was there for her when I think she needed it most.
Right. Well, you lost Adrian.
Yeah.
Both tribes also lost their individual identities and merged to form one, the Sakuta tribe. What did you think of your new tribe mates? We'll start off with Andy.
Strong, silent, gutsy, physically built for the job, and I really liked Andy. What a great guy, really, to be fair.
Charlotte?
Charlotte, she's been slated, but I can tell you she's a beauty with brawn and guts and you know, physical abilities. I think you've seen actually speak for themselves, to be fair.
Eve?
Eve, she was a strong lady, strong-minded. She would basically, she wanted to win at all costs. And she got those scary, crazy eyes, hadn't she, Eve? And she stared at you, thought, whatever you say, Eve, I am about to do for you, don't worry. No problem with any of that. But she was a competitor.
Jackie?
Jackie, dark and devious behind that nice smile, and scheming all the time. And she perhaps wouldn't have lasted as long as she did without Richard on her side.
Right. James?
When I first met James, I thought James was gay, so no problem with that. But if I'd have been on the log at the time, they told me he got 5 kids, I'd have probably been up there about 20 seconds. But what a character, he's our Robinson Crusoe, lovely guy, and I really like James.
Mick?
Mick, I thought the only thing Mick was going to win was a walking stick when I first saw him. But he's an old guy with guts and spirit and a great personality, and I like him. Didn't trust him, but I liked him.
Pete?
Pete, well, you can see for himself. He's got the looks. He's got a great physique. He was tremendous in most of the challenges. Just can't understand why he hasn't lost his virginity at this stage.
I'll ask him when I see him.
He's got everything, hasn't he? Hey.
Too much time reading. Richard?
Richard. What is he? Is he a GP? Is he a psychiatrist? Is he scheming? Is he on your side? Let me tell you about Richard. I reckon he's the cancer in their camp. I've got no time for Richard. I respect him because he outdid me on the log, but he's a devious character, and I don't like him.
Don't hold back. Zoe, finally.
Zoe, she was dry-witted, she was humorous, she was like a lot of fun.
Right, well, that's what you thought of your new fellow mates in the Sakura tribe, but the question is, as far as the tribe were concerned, the old grudges of Halang and Ula, unfortunately for you, were very much still alive.
They've had it easy here, haven't they, for food? Ridiculously easy. They say they can't eat any more. They can't eat all their lobster.
Yeah, they are.
Can't eat all their fish.
2 days down the line with nothing in the guts.
Yeah. Jackie might be begging to go home.
It's our strategy to pick off the strongest first.
Richard is he's a devious character.
I just don't trust him at all. I don't like to even look at him in the face. Honestly, I don't.
As soon as you meet up with people, you get rid of your prejudices, don't you?
And he's a doctor. My God, I wouldn't go to him if I had a heart attack.
It's tinged with a bit of sadness that we're sort of gaining these people. We'll get to know these people and then lose them very quickly.
Nothing good then, really. No.
We had a plan, if you like, and we were going to sort of pull individuals out the tribe. I was going to work with Pete. Andy was going to work with Mick. Charlotte with Zoe. And in that type of situation, we were going to try and work on the people that we felt perhaps might be a little bit more approachable. But it was tough for us.
Well, that's what you thought. Let's have a little word with Stephen Flett, who's our clinical psychologist, who joins us every week. And Stephen conducted psychometric tests on our contestants before they took part in Survivor. Would you have had a better chance if he'd stuck to his own, guns as he normally is in real life?
I don't think so, because his more normal self is fairly dominant, fairly vocal, strongly extrovert. And if you remember back to Nick and JJ in the early days, both got voted off from different tribes for being dominant and visible. The difference, I think, with Simon is he seems to have found some volume control on those characteristics and been able to turn them down on the island. I think that's been to his advantage. He's become a bit of a chameleon, adapting to both factions in the Halang tribe, as it was, able to speak to the older faction and the younger faction, accepted by both. The problem in the new tribe is I don't think they need that role. He hasn't quite found a place, and he hasn't had the time in 3 days to worm his way into the new tribe in the same way. But I think it was successful up to the halfway point, if you like.
Right. Well, thanks, Stephen. We'll talk about that history and more after the break, when we'll hear all about the alliances and the scheming amongst the new tribe members.
They know that we're going to try and pick them off.
If I'd have been with these lot for 4 weeks, I'd have probably chopped myself by now.
Wedges from McCain.
Having a nationwide current account can make quite a difference. You want to go surfing on a weary Wednesday? Why not? Your current account was the first on the high street to pay interest. And if you need to impress someone, you've had free, easy access to your cash for years. All in all, life's a beach, and never mind the weather. So now can you see the difference? Run entirely for the benefit of its members, nationwide, underlining the difference.
A little bit here. And a bit there. Oh, poor little mites. If they don't get some tucker soon, they'll be too weak to make it through the day. Allow me. I'll just wet me whistle first.
Thanks, Rolf.
Ouch.
The white stuff. Are you made of it?
The milk you have with your bowl of cereal provides 20% of your daily allowance of calcium. But what if you miss it? Kellogg's Nutri-Grain bars contain 25% of your daily allowance of calcium. That's more than a quarter pint of milk. So, if you miss the milk at breakfast, you won't miss vital calcium. Kellogg's Nutri-Grain with added calcium. Good food on the go. All Vodafone Pay-As-You-Talk customers can now talk and even text from abroad, just like they can at home. You're on holiday.
They're not. Rub it in.
A new Ford Fiesta from just $6,995 means your nearest Central Ford dealer offers better value than ever. Especially when the reality is, you can take off in a Fiesta flight for only £500 more. With alloy wheels, central locking sunroof and an even better stereo. And until June 20th, no-rate finance available at only 5.9% APR. The Ford Fiesta flight, just $7,495 on the road. Ford demands a closer look.
You are such an idiot. I can't believe it. Come on, where is it?
I must have left it on the hotel table. I'll get a flight tomorrow.
Fine.
Down center, sir.
Cheers.
Okay.
Smirnoff Ice, as clear as your conscience.
How can you do this to me? Which means nothing to me.
Girls, fancy seeing you in here.
Bad Girls, tonight at 9, ITV.
McLean's Complete Care Toothpaste. Sponsor Survivor.
Welcome back. Before the break, we saw a new day dawn on the island in the form of the newly formed Sakuta tribe. Well, with the merged tribes, the rules are slightly different for the immunity challenge. It's each person for themselves, and there's no more immunity idol, just the immunity amulet.
I desperately wanted that.
So much. Let's have a look how much you wanted.
I'm sure you're familiar with the expression, last man standing. Well, quite simply, this is about the last man or woman standing on that log today.
Simon's what his whole body's wobbling.
His head's going. Simon's, I'll give him 10 minutes max. Who, in your estimation, then should stay on there as long as they can? Andy and Simon.
I think we should put this into perspective. It really is quite an extraordinary feat. They got on that log at something like 2:45 yesterday afternoon. It's now 6:25 the following morning.
You lost that love, feeling now it's gone.
Your stance did change. I mean, your first stance, show us your first stance. Right.
I was still body popping,
Right.
80s were back.
What was your second stance?
The second
After about
stance
6
was,
hours.
constipation was easing off a bit, so I was something like this, wasn't I?
And the third, more relaxed stance.
Yeah, the third one was, hey, I'm going to be here all day.
Was everyone playing fair?
Oh, crikey, I tell you what, I've never been involved in so many mind games as I was in the 20 hours I spent up there. You didn't get a chance to see how, what we went through the night, because it was raining, it was windy, I was probably as cold as I've ever been. Obviously, the water raised somewhere just under our knees. The tide was rising. In fact, it was fish swimming through your legs. That was quite a nice feeling. The only time I felt my legs in 20 hours when the fish went through. I was numb, and I was in agony. I was in excruciating pain through the night. The night run was terrible. You couldn't see anything either. You could just see a flame on the sand spit.
Longest night of your life?
It was a very, very long night. Very extreme long night. And I must have wanted to jump off 30 times through the night. You know, I've got 2 kids, and I just want them to know that, you know, if you put your mind to things, kids generally always say, can't do it, can't do this, can't do that, but if you put your mind to it, you can. People that I work with, they always say sometimes, perhaps I can't do this, but I wanted them to know that if you really want it, regardless of how much pain you're in and how much suffering there is around you, you can get through it.
Who do you think would have won if it'd been you and Andy up there?
It got to about 19 hours. I looked to the right. I thought, oh, I've got a crazy man standing to the right. He didn't need to be up there, did he? No, of course. And I got this guy to my left with legs, perhaps the thickness of my body. He just wasn't swaying at all. And I got, you know, I was speaking to Andy through the night. This guy wasn't going to move. He was going to be there, and Richard, I felt, was going to kill himself. Or burn to death, because he didn't say to his legs. He kept looking at me. Yeah, I can't burn, because I got a bit of colour in my skin, and he's burning. So that was quality.
What I would like to ask is somebody who works with you in that environment, if you're the kind of same kind of animal. We've got Steve with us. Hello, Steve.
Hello.
Hiya. Now, you're his boss, Steve, is that right?
I am, yes.
Right. So, could you see him standing on a log for 20 hours?
No, he's a bit of a Nancy boy at work, really. But the first few episodes for me were quite surprised by his tactics. He merged into the background, really, which is not the Simon that we know. And for Simon to display wallflower tactics is unheard of at work, really. I think the message with Simon was just don't get in his way. Don't get in his way when he's on his way to achieving a target or an objective. Just get behind him, go with him, and just don't get in his way, but in a nice way. Apart from that, he's not perfect. He's always late for everything.
Well, Simon, by now the tension was mounting as the Helang tribe feared they were going to be picked off one by one, unfortunately, starting with you.
It was he and I that had a little incident in the stretcher race. I definitely impeded him, and he took a swipe at my head with his boot.
There's nothing to say. They started it, and I just flung a leg out because I was trying to go up and get away.
That instantly wound Richard up.
What?
And Richard will not forget that.
Yeah, we've got a game plan for tonight. It's dead simple. Simon will go.
It was him or Andy, really, that we deemed the strongest, and Andy's got immunity, so Simon's out.
Is that all that history's about? That immunity challenge on the stretchers and things like that?
I didn't know it was Eve at the time. I just thought I didn't have a clue it was a female, and I apologised thereafter, and I was quite embarrassed about that. But I just kicked my leg back to get away, really, like you would do, to get up and get away. There was no sort of intent on hurting anybody. It was just to get away. And
Richard just used it to think.
Richard, he's obviously he plays mind games. That's his job. And he's used that to influence other people, making out to be perhaps a bigger incident than he was.
Right, well, we weren't going to let up with the challenges. They were coming thick and fast, and after one of the toughest challenges on Survivor, Andy won this prize, the immunity amulet, which meant that he was safe. And as for the rest of the tribe, probably known as Helang, it was lambs to the slaughter.
Apparently, there's a plan. I hope it works.
It's all part of a master plan, really, that's been concocted by James en route here. I'm not sure exactly why.
Zoe, for no particular reason at all.
Simon, life on the island hasn't been too long to forget your past crimes and misdemeanors.
He's too strong. It's a shame after his fantastic effort today. You are a strong competitor, and your fitness was deemed to be a threat. Your strength is admirable, but I'm afraid it's also a threat.
Physically, you're a great threat, Trace. I'm sorry, mate. My vote goes against you.
After today, I think he deserves more than this. Put some sign of respect for him. He's such a threat. We have to get rid of him.
Simon. Eve. Simon. Richard. Simon. Zoe. Zoe. Simon. 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 I'm trying to spoken, Simon. You have to leave.
You bowed out gracefully, though.
Yeah, I did, because I had a lot of thoughts whilst I was walking to the tribal council that night about should I say anything, and I was going to have a go at Richard.
You let him off the hook, in a way. You didn't nail him, did you?
Yeah, it's probably one of my regrets, actually, that I didn't really go to town on him at that stage. But what I had done, I had planted seeds when I got back to the island, when I came off the log.
So who's going to be next sitting here?
Unfortunately, it's going to be another Halang tribe member. And if I was a betting man, I don't know, but I would suggest it could be Andy, because you've heard tonight that that's who they're going to be gunning for, unfortunately, because he doesn't deserve it, but it's a game.
Your thoughts? Who's going to play the game? Who's going to come out on top?
I'd like it. I'd love it to be to Pete. I'd love Pete to actually win the, because he's a nice guy and he plays fair, plays hard. But I think he's actually going to be Mick, which would probably surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, Adrian said that last week as well.
Yep. The reason for Mick, if you look at it, I mean, he doesn't ever offend anybody outwardly. He's playing this very low-key character at the moment. He's got a hell of a lot of knowledge with regard to survival skills. His practical skills are good. He seems to get on with everybody. He's got a lot of experience, and I think the maturity that he has will mean that people will respect him and not actually vote him off.
Right. Well, I think you've showed a lot of maturity tonight, and indeed your time on the island, for all to see. You've been remarkable this evening. A true gent right to the end. Ladies and gentlemen, Simon. Well, Simon will be online on the ITV website straight after the show to talk about his island adventure. The address is www.itv-survivor.co.uk. There'll be more Survivor Unseen next Tuesday, when I'll be talking exclusively to the next survivor voted off the island. Until then, good night. Next time on Survivor.
Maybe he was living one. Now, the survivor,
pee or not
talking
to
of
pee?
Red Indian sense, actually, that leads us on to the next item, because it's the survivor who proved that losing £1 million is as easy as falling off a log.
It's a bit like a chess game, isn't it? We're all trying to suss each other out, all trying to make the right moves and things. If I was a betting man, I'd be betting against me being the next one off.
Quite simply, this is about the last man or woman standing on that log today. Survivors, go!
Simon, life on the island hasn't been too long to forget your past crimes and misdemeanor.
After today, I think he deserves more than this. But some sign of respect for him. He's such a threat. We have to get rid of him.
You vote for, the true survivor, the true competitor, and the person that really deserves it most. And best of luck to all of you.
And we'll see more of that leading speech in a couple of minutes. Simon, say hello. Hi. Congratulations on lasting for so long.
Thank you.
And doing so well. You hate Richard, don't you?
I wouldn't use the word hate. I don't actually hate anyone. I just dislike Richard.
Yeah.
But I have got a lot of respect for him.
Is he a bit dodgy? Because his story about who he is seems to be changing. One minute he's a doctor, and then he's something in psychiatry. And what do you think?
He's a dodgy character, and he's been portrayed as a real nice guy, which is great, because I hope you'll possibly see a change.
Right.
But yeah, he told everybody he was a GP,
Yeah.
because of the stigma with regards to psychiatrist. But he is actually a psychiatrist, so he's got a lot of
That's a
mental...
typical psychiatrist deception, actually, and subterfuge.
Are you insulting Raj Prasad?
Yes, I am.
Oh, right.
Yes, I'm definitely insulting Raj. That's exactly what he'd do. I bet he got a real angle on all of you and on the whole business of living with a small enclosed community together. Is he quite manipulative?
Very manipulative, and the log challenge that we did.
You had to stand on a log as long as you could.
As long as you could, yeah. So it was a boring challenge, but it was quite. It was obviously an enduring one. He would watch you. He would analyse you through the night. Every time I looked round to look at Richard, he firmly fixed on me, just to try and gauge what I was thinking. And Andy all through the night.
You didn't fancy kind of punching him? Pushing him off?
All perhaps most of the night, really. But I thought better treatment would be to give him the silent treatment, which we did for 6 hours.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to get him on, actually, when he finally fails. Do you think he's likely to win?
He's got a chance because he's mentally tuned in and he's physically strong. But I just think because of that challenge that you saw, and he didn't need to be there, and because he stayed there for so long, that would have actually weakened him with regard to the other tribe members' thoughts and feelings to him.
Your feet still hurt from standing on that log for what? How many hours was it? 20 hours?
20 hours.
Yeah.
Still got sort of, not scabs, but very, very sore and very dry, and it's, you know, they need to be creamed twice, 3 times a day.
How long ago was that? It was months ago.
That was a month ago.
A month ago,
It's taken a long time. I mean, it's a sea obviously rising through the night, which you didn't see.
Yeah.
Sea was at the hill. So, and just living, I suppose, going to bed every night with wet feet. And putting socks on that were wet in the following day and stuff like that. So it had a...
Did you do it for the money? Did you do it to get the million?
No, not at all. I mean, when I actually applied for the show, I didn't even know. As a text came through from a friend saying this might be right up your street. She said £1,000, but it wasn't that. It was definitely the challenge and the competition that I was after, and just going into a new environment. Normally a suit and tie man like yourself through the day. So
what did you do? What's your job?
Financial services guy in an estate agency environment.
Right.
That'll get somebody smiling.
Well, we've got a clip here of your leaving speech, because you're not supposed to give a leaving speech. You're supposed to snuff the light out and push off. But you were very very articulate and very generous about everybody.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, let's have a little look.
I'd just would like to say that I've enjoyed myself, enjoyed competing against you all. There's some good competitors here. Hope we can still stay friends in the future. And just one thing really, that to gain the £1 million prize money, that you vote for, the true survivor, the true competitor, and the person that really deserves it most. And best of luck to all of you.
Except Richard.
Actually, you seem, from all the sort of goodbyes that I've actually watched on that, you seem to be the most well-adjusted goodbye person of the lot. Most of the others have shown a lot of emotion, but you were just generous and shrugged it off.
I had 20 hours to think about that. If I didn't win that particular challenge, I was going to be voted off anyway. And, I was disappointed, but I'd enjoyed myself. And I'd also come off knowing that I'd actually achieved something as well by, if you like, doing something I didn't think I could do, that mind over matter situation for 20 hours. So I was quite pleased with how far I'd done.
You've got kids, haven't you, little ones?
Yeah, I've got 2 beautiful children, I've got a daughter and son.
Well, have they been thrilled with it?
They were, and obviously they still thought I was going to win it until 2 days ago when they saw the clip for the first time that I'd been voted off. But
do they cry?
They were very upset. They didn't cry. My son's one of these. He'll just go and walk away and play with his. Started playing with his toys at that stage.
How old is he?
He's 8 actually. Yesterday.
Yesterday, great. And what about the other one?
My daughter Dana's 10.
10.
And she was very upset, but I think I was still proud at the same time. It is only a game, and I think they realise that.
And at least you were there with them. They weren't thinking, oh, there's poor Daddy on that island, and I want to put my arms around him or anything. When he saw it.
Well, you should be very proud of yourself. You did a good job, I thought.
No doubt we'll see you all together.
Yeah, you will at the end.
That'll be interesting. Absolutely. Richard there and you there,
and a load of bouncers in between.
And Raj next to Richard. I'm going to do that to him.
Okie dokie. Best of luck. And are you going to just go back to your job, or
we'll go back to work.
Good.
Back at work now.
Keep grounded. Yeah, good for you. All right, then, still to come, competitive dad could win you big midday money, and the movie star who had her bunny boiled. Back in a minute.